Very good morning, students. In today's video we will be discussing about the remaining portion of chapter number 8, that is cell structure and the functions. Now in the earlier videos we have discussed about what is a cell, what are the different types of the cell, although one type of a cell is still not being discussed by us. Leaving apart that, we have discussed about the organelles that are present in the cell. Now we have also discussed about the plant cell and the animal cell, and we have in today's video we will be discussing about the differences between the plant cell and the animal cell. Now if we are talking about the plant cell and the animal cell, the biggest difference between the plant cell and the animal cell is the size of the vacuole. If you can remember the diagram, I hope everyone has drawn that diagram in their science copies, plant cell as well as the animal cell. If you can recall, the size of the vacuole in the plant cell is much larger in comparison to the vacuoles that are present in the animal cell. Another interesting fact is that there is only one vacuole in a plant cell, but when we are talking about the animal cell, there are small large number of vacuoles that are present in the animal cell, though the number of these vacuoles may vary from different animal cell to different animal cell, right? Next point of difference is when we are talking about the plant cell are what? They have plastids in them. These plastids are responsible for what? They are responsible for the process of photosynthesis, because there is a green color pigment called chlorophyll that is present in them. But when we talk about the animal cell do not possess plastids. The next thing is that the plant cell is being has a different wall in a form of a cell wall. Their plasma membrane is covered by another wall in the form of cell wall, but this cell wall is present only in the plant cell. It is missing from the animal cell. So if we are talking about the differences between the plant cell and the animal cell, these three are the most important differences as of now between the plant cell and the animal cell. Now moving forward, as I have told you that we have not discussed about one type of a cell so far. So that one type of a cell is in the form of a prokaryotic cell. Now when we talk about the pro is a different word and karyotic is a different word. Pro means what? Pro means early, right? And karyotic means what? Nucleus. So when we are talking about nucleus, right? So when we are talking about the prokaryotic means early, that is it also means primitive. It also means primitive. So any cell that can be termed as a prokaryotic cell, it means that it has a primitive type of a nucleus in it. Now when we are talking about the primitive type of a nucleus, we all know about the evolution of life, how the organisms have evolved from time to time, how they have changed themselves. If we talk about the human beings, if we talk about our great ancestors, they were monkeys, they were apes, they have tail, they have hair all over their body, their facial structure was totally different, they have sharp teeth, they have big nails. But what happened? With the changes in the climate, with the change in their feeding habit, certain of the organs have disappeared, certain features have disappeared from the human body, like the tail was the big one. Imagine yourself with a tail. Interestingly, if we are talking about the prokaryotic cells here, the prokaryotic cells are what? These type of cells have a primitive nucleus with them. Now because they are having a primitive nucleus, it means what? It means these type of cells are simple cells. What are they? They are simple type of a cells, right? And because they are simple, what does it mean? These cells, the nucleus was not bounded by the plasma membrane. The cells were not bounded by the plasma membrane. Not bounded by plasma membrane. What do you understand by the term plasma membrane? Please refer the earlier video. What is plasma membrane or the nuclear membrane is. Now because they do not have a plasma membrane, therefore they do not have plasma membrane bounded organelles even. Plasma membrane bound organelles missing. What are organelles? Mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes, lysosomes, vacuoles, all these are what? These are the organelles. So when we are talking about the prokaryotic type of the cells, these type of cells were primitive. Because they were primitive, that means they were simple, and because they were simple, therefore their cell structure was not covered by the plasma membrane, and the organelles were also not there. That means what type of organisms in which prokaryotic type of cells were present? They were unicellular organisms. What are unicellular organisms? Now the question arises here. The unicellular organisms are those type of organisms which have only one cell in their body, and they can also be called as a single celled structures or the organisms, like bacteria, like blue green algae, amoeba, paramecium, euglena. All these are the examples of unicellular organisms, and they are also the example of prokaryotic cells. Now coming to another type of cell, that is eukaryotic cells. Now again this word is made from two words. One is eu and other is karyotic. Karyotic would remain the same, that is nucleus. No confusion about it, don't get hassled. Now when we talk about the eu means true. What does it mean? Eu means true. So all the organisms that have a true nucleus in them, in their cells, they are termed as a eukaryotic cells. Now these cells are complex. What are they? They are termed as complex cells. Why? Because they have a specialized set of cells. All the cells have their specific role to play, right? They have their specific function. Like if I am talking about the skin cells, they are protective in nature. But if I am talking about the cells in the kidney, they have a different role to play. What is their role? Their role is to purify the blood. So there is a huge difference. One is protection and the other is purifying, right? So they are complex cells. Here the cell was not bounded by the plasma membrane, but in eukaryotic cells plasma membrane is present. It is not present here, but here plasma membrane is present. Plasma membrane present, and plasma membrane bound organelles present. Membrane bound organelles found. Now I have already told you about the organelles that are present in the cell. They are mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, vacuoles, right? All these we have discussed. So when we are talking about the eukaryotic cells, they are true nucleus cells, that is they are complex. Now because they are complex, what does it mean? It means they are found in multicellular organisms, right? Like human beings, humans, cat, dog, cow, buffalo, so many, right? Now in the same way, when we are talking about the prokaryotic cells, they are present in what? They are present in unicellular. They were present in unicellular organisms. I have given you example of amoeba, paramecium, euglena, blue green algae, right? So these are the two types of the cells. Now coming to the point, because if we are talking about the single cell organism, that is a unicellular organism, what does it mean? It means there is only one cell present. If only one cell is present, what does it mean? It means that the organism is not visible to you with the naked eye. You have to use microscope in order to see that organism. On the other hand, if we talk about the multicellular organisms, I don't think anyone requires a microscope in order to see me, neither do I, right? So that is about the unicellular and the multicellular organisms. Now interestingly, this fact also give rise to another thing, another important aspects about the cells. Now the aspects that arises are, the cells are different in different organisms because they are performing different functions. Now because they are performing different functions, therefore what will happen? Their shape, their size will be different too, right? In the same way, when we are talking about each one of us in our class, everyone is a different individual. All of us are made from the cells, but although our cells are doing the same functions, but there are certain cells that are responsible for the physical features. There are cells that are responsible for the kind of a mood for you, right? So they are different in different individuals. Some people get annoyed very easily. Some people are very joyful. They are always laughing, giggling away, right? Some are very dull in features. Some have very sharp features. Someone have whitish skin tone. Some have fair complexion. So all this is because of the cells that are present in the body, and they are a bit different from the others, right? I hope the example is clear to you, that all the organisms have different type of cells in their body, and these different type of cells might be performing the same type of a function, but their size and shape is different according to the need and the work that is performed by the organism, right? Now we will discuss about what? We will discuss about the another feature of the cells. What is it? If we are talking about the unicellular organism, what we have discussed about the unicellular organism. We will also discuss about the smallest cell and the largest cell. Now when we talk about the smallest cell, what is the smallest cell? The smallest cell is bacteria mycoplasma. It is considered as the smallest cell. Why? Because it is very, very, very small. Remember, I have said very, very, very. That means 3 varies. 3 varies is equal to 3 zeros here, and then 1 millimeter. So that is the size of the smallest cell, that is bacteria mycoplasma. Now interestingly, if we talk about the largest cell, it is ostrich egg. Ostrich egg, largest cell. Now when we compare its size with this, it is immense. Why? Because it is one cell that we can see with the naked eye, because it is 170 millimeter in size. 170. I hope everyone has seen ostrich, not in reality but in pictures at least. So it is a huge bird. It is even bigger than the human beings in height. Therefore its egg is just about the size of the palm of a human being, right? So that is the largest cell and the smallest cell. Do remember it. It can come in MCQs as well, right? Now we have also discussed, apart from this, we have discussed about the cells. What are cells? Now if we talk about the cells, cells are the smallest unit of life. The smallest unit of life. Is there something missing in it? It is functional unit of life. Okay, good. What it is, if we talk about the cells, these are the smallest unit of life which have a definite structure, right? The smallest unit of life that has definite structure. Right. Now you will be asking me why I am writing here again the definition of the cell. I am writing it here because this cell is the basic, this cell is the origin of life. If the cell is not there, no living organism can evolve. Everything has evolved from this cell, right? We have talked about the unicellular organisms, right? Unicellular organisms. So it was this particular cell from where the life has actually originated, right? Now because it is a cell, so all the cells have a specific function and have a specific function. All the cells have a specific function to perform. Now these cells are doing what? These cells are giving rise to tissue, right? They are giving rise to whom? They are giving rise to tissues. Now how are tissues formed? Interestingly, when a group of similar cells combine together, a group of similar cells means a kind of a cells like a skin. I have taken an example of a skin. These cells are dead and protective in nature. When all the protective in nature and dead type of cells they combine together, then what they form? They form tissue, right? So if we have to define a tissue, if we have to tell you what is a tissue, tissue is a what? It is a group of similar cells which work together. A group of similar cells that work together. Now they are working together. What does it mean? Are they working for a cause? Is the cause same? Is they are on the same mission, right? So yes, they are, and perform a particular mission, function, right? Okay, so that is what, that is tissues. If we talk about the tissues, what are tissues? A group of similar cells that work together and perform a particular function that is termed as a tissue. Now skin is a kind of a tissue that we have, right? Now cell, from cell tissues were originated. From tissues what has originated? Organ. We have different organs in our body and every organ has a definite set of a role to play. Like if we talk about the heart, oh my god, heart has a different role to play. It is pumping blood throughout the lifespan of an organism. Once it stops, everything stops. Oops, everything stops. The name of a stopping, it fell down. So if we are talking about the organs, what happens? Organs are what? Organs are those group of tissues. What are organs? If we have to define an organ, how we will define? The collection of the different type of tissues that work together. A collection of the different type of tissues, a collection of different types of tissues. I am writing this correctly? Tissues, I am using the word tissues here, so don't get confused. A collection of different type of tissues that work together. That work together, right? So again here, the different type of tissues are working together. For what? For a mission, for a cause. And what is that cause? For a particular function, because they have to perform a particular function. To perform a particular function. What is the function of the heart? Pumping the blood. What is the function of liver? What is the to excrete some digestive juices? What is the function of kidney? To purify the blood, right? So if we are talking about the organs, I am writing the examples of some organs we have in the form of heart, lungs, kidney, they are all what? They all are vital organs in our body, in the human body or any living organism, for that sake, multicellular organism, right? So these are the organs, these are the examples of the organs. They have a specific role to play, right? Now these organs, they have evolved even further, right? Now what they have done, they have developed themselves into the organ system. Now organ system is bit more complicated in comparison to the organs or the tissues. Why? Because it was here only a similar type of cells, they came together to form tissue. Now similar type of cells, tissues come together, they make an organ. When similar type of organs come together, then it makes an organ system. Remember it, don't get confused anywhere, right? When the same type of organs, same functions that are being performed by the organs, they come together, then it is termed as an organ system. Like I am talking about in the stomach. Stomach is, although stomach is what? It is a kind of organ. But when I am talking about an organ system, stomach all alone is not responsible for the digestion of the food. It requires other organs help also in order to digest the food that we have eaten. Like if we talk about the digestive system, the digestion actually starts from the mouth itself. As soon as you eat something, as soon as you put anything in your mouth, if there is a starch present in it, it will start digesting from the tongue itself. As soon as it is placed on the tongue, all the starch that is there, remember we have taste buds which tells us whether the thing is hot, sour, sweet, right? So in the same way, when we are talking about the organ system, organ systems are what? How can we define the organ system? Group of interconnected organs. A group of interconnected a group of interconnected organs which work together. Oh, what happened? A group of interconnected organs which work together for the same mission again, right? So a group of interconnected organs which work together to do a particular task for an organism, work together to perform a particular task for the organism, that is organ system. Like digestive system, because if I am talking about the tongue, it is not related to the stomach, but it is a part of the digestive system. In the same way, when I am talking about the respiratory system, it is about the lungs. Lung is an organ that is responsible for the respiration. But what happens if these nostrils are not there? How will the lung air or the oxygen get inside the body of an organism? For that, nostrils are important. The windpipe is also important, right? Respiratory system. All these are what? All these are examples of what? Organ system. I hope the video is clear to you. All the topics that are covered in this video are clear to you. In case if any of the topic is not clear to you, feel free to call. I am there to help you. Thank you.